Hello, welcome back to another Build to Godzilla video. Before I review the movie, check this out. I've picked this up, Godzilla, Rulers of Earth, and apparently it's like another version of Godzilla Final Wars. And I liked Godzilla Final Wars, so I can't wait to read through this. And apparently, this is better than Godzilla Final Wars. Like I said, I liked Godzilla Final Wars a lot. So if this is a better version of it, I really can't wait to read it. Let's see, the monsters they got in here are Godzilla, Destroyer, Gazora, Gigan, the Spider Monster because I can't pronounce his name, and Zilla. And apparently Zilla can, does damage in this one as opposed to Final Wars where he's in it for 2 minutes. So I can't wait to actually read through this. I'll have to take a little bit of a break from reading through Attack on Titan to read through that, but it's going to be worth it. But today I'm actually going to be reviewing Rodan. This is a double feature set of Rodan and War of the Gargantuas. I could have just gotten both single, but I figured I'd save some money. Is this a double disc? Yeah, it's double disc. Save some money, get them both at the same time. And I'm happy I waited for this to come out. Let's check out the special features. Uncut Japanese version with English subtitles, first time on DVD. English dubbed US version, original documentary bringing Godzilla down to size. I'm not sure if the uncut Japanese version, if they're talking about both movies or just the one, because I only watched Rodan. No, I mean I watched both of them, but it's been a while since I watched War of the Gargantuas, even though that is my favorite non-Godzilla Toho movie. But anyways, Rodan. When I watched War of the Gargantuas, it was dubbed over, so maybe it was just Rodan. Rodan, I had it subtitled. Rodan, it's great. It's really good. It's actually, I think it's a little bit darker. It's not darker than the original Godzilla, but it's a darker kaiju film. And there's more than one Rodan in it. I'm not sure if you can see in that picture there, but there's actually two Rodan in that image. So Rodan's more of a species, not just a name of the monster itself. And of course, if you've seen Rodan, he's like a pterodactyl. But the movie, it's not just about that. It also has these weird bug creatures, which is actually kind of, they eat people. It's actually really weird. And they made another appearance in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, which is one of my least favorite Godzilla movies. It kind of seemed tedious and boring. Maybe I'd have to watch it again to give it another look. But let's read the back of the box and see if I can get a better plot synopsis for you. A small village is besieged by deadly man-eating insects. When Shigeru travels deep into a mine shaft to exterminate the beast, he makes an even more horrifying discovery. Rodan, the flying monster. Two giant pterodactyls terrorize Japan, soaring through the skies and blowing away cities with wing-whipped gusts. How will the world survive this seemingly unstoppable threat? Maybe if they had Godzilla around, they'd be able to get rid of this threat sooner. But anyways. So yeah, Rodan. The bugs are just in there to basically bring Rodan out. They could have done anything else to bring him out. I thought the bugs were a little unnecessary, but it was cool. It was very cool to see the bugs and how it didn't just focus on Rodan throughout all of it. They showed that there is more than one threat in this world, which is awesome. The Godzilla series is almost like, well, more or less the Toho kaiju series is basically the Avengers of its time. Everyone knows that build up to Destroy All Monsters, which puts basically all the monsters together, and even then they even came back in Final Wars. But Destroy All Monsters was before that, so we're going to say Destroy All Monsters was the Avengers of that time period for Toho, at least. So yeah, it's really solid. I can't really say too much about it. It's kind of one of those things you have to see it for yourself. The pacing is really good. I have to say that the pacing was great in that one. It's one of the few kaiju movies, especially from that era, that had solid pacing. Most of the Godzilla movies did, but this one actually had fantastic pacing. And I was on the edge of my seat a lot, and it kept me in suspense throughout most of it. Personally, I'm happy to have this in my collection. There's not much bad I can say about it other than the bug effects look really kind of stupid, and for a dark movie it doesn't really have a lot of bloodshed, which I'm not saying it should have had bloodshed, but it definitely wasn't a movie that was made for kids. It's definitely more of an adult kaiju movie, which was really weird. This was before Godzilla started becoming more towards kids, or the kaiju genre anyway. Even though there was Gamera, and Gamera was definitely a more kid-friendly version of Godzilla, even though sometimes it was a little bit more violent if you've ever seen the uncut versions of the Gamera series. But Rodan, I have to say, it's one of the more solid kaiju films, not just from Toho, but from just kaiju films in general, that I think most people will enjoy. Unless you can't get past dubbing, and if you're not into subtitles, obviously you're never going to get into that. And you have to. It's one of those things where if you do get into it, it's one of those things you have to let yourself get into. It's not something you're going to get into like that. You have to watch other things first. And maybe I think this could be the one to bring people in more to it. But I would just say watch the mid Godzilla movies, like some of the 90s ones, and then some of the original series ones, because more like Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, and which other one? Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Those are the two that I would say from that era to watch. And then Godzilla versus Destoroyah and Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. Those are the two from that era that I would recommend watching. And also Godzilla 2000 if you really want to get into it. But the rest of them, those are for hardcore kaiju fans. I'm not really hardcore, but ones that I've just kind of got used to it. But like I said, this might be the one that could help bring people into it, because the dubbing's not that bad. And like I said, if you don't like reading subtitles, you just don't like reading subtitles. I don't mind it. I got used to it. Like I said, The Seventh Samurai is one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. But anyways, Rodan, definitely solid. Fantastic. I can give this a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, some of the effects are kind of weird, and it sometimes it just has a little bit of tonal issues that I really couldn't get past. But other than that, great movie. It shows that Toho does not necessarily need Godzilla in order to survive. Even Mothra before that, people already knew that. But this one definitely made it shine the most. Anyways, that is my review of Rodan. Catch you later.